Two members of Ron DeSantis' administration in his office as the governor of Florida, two people in that administration have now been added to a class action lawsuit over the migrant flights from Texas to Martha's Vineyard. Now, here is why this is such a significant development. This lawsuit was actually filed in September on behalf of the migrants because they were lied to and they were, pretty much, depending on your definition of it, kidnapped because they were told they were going one place, they were taken another under false pretenses. It's kidnapping if you ask me. So they filed this lawsuit, but now they filed an amended complaint last week where they added Ron DeSantis' very own chief of staff, James UT Meyer, along with Ron DeSantis' public safety czar, Larry Keefe. So those are two people, one of whom works side by side with Ron DeSantis on a daily basis. And he has now been added to this lawsuit based on new information that has been released by the Florida government itself. They haven't released everything, and they're facing some legal problems over that, but they have released enough to where we can link this directly to DeSantis' chief of staff and his public safety czar. Another person also added to this lawsuit is Perla Huerta, the former Army Special Ops person who basically did the recruiting along with these two other individuals. What's even more interesting is the fact that not just do we have it tied directly to the governor's office with his chief of staff, which, if you ask me, means, Ron DeSantis should also be added to it. It's unlikely his chief of staff just did this on his own. So anyway, plus DeSantis is taking credit for it, so you may as well add him. But they also, in the communications that have been released by the state of Florida, have linked this directly to officials in the state of Texas working in Greg Abbott's administration. So we have two state-level governments all the way up damn near at the top that orchestrated this whole thing. Why are Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis not being added to this lawsuit as well? Now, I actually know the answer to that. The answer is because you've got to have the firm evidence linking these individuals to the activities that caused this to happen. If you do not have the hard evidence that they were directing this at their level, you cannot add them. And that doesn't mean that this evidence doesn't exist. It just means that it hasn't been released yet, or prosecutors, lawyers during a discovery phase, obviously, which has not happened yet, have not had the time to go through and pinpoint that. At any point, as this lawsuit continues to move forward, if they uncover information that would implicate other individuals like Ron DeSantis or Greg Abbott themselves, they can easily file an amended complaint and add them to the lawsuit just like they did with his chief of staff. So that's where all of this is. I know this story has kind of disappeared from the headlines, obviously, but this is still a big one. We may have abuse of power. We may have, racketeering. We may have misuse of state funds. Or maybe it's just good old-fashioned kidnapping. But whatever it is, this story is not over. And the legal problems for Ron DeSantis and his administration are only just beginning. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share. But again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.